Okay, so ever notice that mid-cycle bloat that kind of catches you off guard?
Hmm.
Or maybe, a sudden craving hits you? Or just a little twinge of pain you can't quite place?
Yeah, definitely happens.
So easy to just think, oh, it's just hormones,
Mm.
right? And just kind of move on.
Right, brush it off.
Exactly. But what if those weren't just random hormonal hiccups? Welcome to the deep dive. We're going to unpack exactly that today.
It's a really common experience, isn't it, for so many people? Those things, the bloating, the cramps, that sudden, like, desperate need for carbs,
Oh, yeah,
they just get written off as, part of the hormonal roller coaster.
totally. But today, our mission is really to dig a bit deeper.
Mm-hmm.
We're going to explore what your body might actually be trying to tell you with these mid-cycle signals.
Get into the science behind them, too.
Yeah, the fascinating science. And, maybe most importantly, see how actually tracking these signs can unlock a richer understanding of yourself.
Hmm.
And honestly, it can feel pretty empowering.
It really can. It all starts with just tuning in, really paying attention, and recognizing these messages your body's sending.
Okay, so recognizing them is key. These mid-cycle experiences, like you said, they often feel like background noise.
Yeah, something we're maybe conditioned to just ignore or, put up with.
Right.
But what's really interesting is when you start to sort of lean in and listen, these aren't just random things happening.
Mhm.
They're often very closely tied to the hormonal shifts that are just a natural part of your cycle leading up to and right around ovulation.
Okay, so where should we start? When we talk about these typical mid-cycle signals, what are the most common ones people might actually notice?
Well, okay, a really common one is bloating. You might feel that familiar sensation where your abdomen just feels fuller or maybe tighter than usual.
Yeah, that tight jeans feeling.
Exactly. And that can happen because the changing hormone levels, they can influence how your body holds on to fluids.
Oh, okay. Water retention. Makes sense.
Hmm. Then there's something called Mittelschmerz. It's actually a German word.
Mittelschmerz. Okay.
Yeah, it means middle pain. And it basically describes the mild to moderate pain some women feel right around the time an ovary releases an egg.
Middle pain. Wow, that's a very direct name. So it's like literally a signal right from the middle of the cycle.
Pretty much, yeah. For some people, it can be a really, really clear indicator of exactly where they are in their cycle.
Interesting. What else?
And then we have those shifts in appetite. Often they show up as cravings.
Oh, definitely. The cravings.
People might find themselves really, really wanting salty things or sweet things or just richer, more, energy-dense foods during this time.
Yeah, pizza calling my name.
Huh, right. And it's not just physical stuff either. Your mood can shift too.
Okay, how so?
Well, some people might actually feel a boost in energy, like a more positive outlook right around ovulation. But others, they might experience increased sensitivity or feel a bit more anxious.
It's honestly so validating to hear you say these aren't just in our heads. It sounds like there's a real biological reason for all this.
Oh, absolutely. These symptoms are, a totally normal part of your body's hormonal symphony, let's call it.
I like that hormonal symphony.
Yeah. And just recognizing them, noticing them, that's the first crucial step toward understanding yourself better, both, biologically and how these changes might be influencing your emotions or your energy levels.
Okay, so we've identified what these mid-cycle experiences often are. Bloating, cramping, cravings, mood shifts. Now, let's get into the really fascinating part. Why? Why do they happen? What's the science behind all this mid-cycle activity?
Right, the why. Okay, so the main players in this hormonal dance are estrogen and another hormone called luteinizing hormone, or LH.
Estrogen and LH. Got it.
So in the first part of your cycle, your estrogen levels are steadily rising. One of its main jobs is to thicken the lining of your uterus, basically getting it ready for a possible pregnancy.
Okay, preparing the nest, so to speak.
Exactly. Then, as you get closer to ovulation, estrogen hits its peak. And this peak triggers a really significant surge in LH.
A surge, like a big spike.
A big spike, yeah. And that LH surge, that's the signal. It tells your ovary, okay, time to release an egg.
Okay, wow. So peak estrogen, then LH surge, then egg release.
You got it.
Now here's where it gets really interesting for me. How do these hormonal shifts, the estrogen rise, the LH surge, how do they actually cause those physical feelings we just talked about? Like the bloating,
Good question. Well, those higher levels of estrogen around ovulation, they can affect how your body manages fluid balance, so potentially leading to more water retention.
Ah, back to the water retention.
hmm And estrogen can also influence your digestive system. Sometimes it slows down what we call gut motility.
Got motility.
Yeah, think of it like things moving a little more sluggishly through your digestive tract. And that slowdown can contribute to that feeling of being bloated.
Okay, that makes sense. Things backing up a bit.
Okay.
What about the cramping, the middle smirts?
Right, the middle pain. Well, the actual release of the egg from the ovary, that little process, can cause a tiny bit of irritation or maybe stretching of the tissues right around the ovary.
Just the physical act of it releasing.
Exactly. And that can result in that little twinge or for some, a more noticeable pain.
And the cravings, where do they fit in?
Ah, the cravings. There are a couple of ideas floating around about that. Biologically speaking, your body might just be looking for a bit more energy. Just in case conception happens, it wants fuel reserves.
Preparing for a big job.
Kinda, yeah. And also, these hormone fluctuations, they can impact chemicals in your brain, neurotransmitters.
Neurotransmitters like serotonin.
Exactly. Things like serotonin. And those play a role in regulating stuff like your appetite and your mood. So a shift in hormones can mean a shift in those brain chemicals, influencing what you want to eat.
Wow, so it's all just incredibly interconnected, isn't it? It's not just random discomfort hitting us.
Not at all.
It's the body doing exactly what it's designed to do, even if it feels a bit annoying sometimes.
Precisely. And, understanding these biological processes, it isn't about dismissing or minimizing any discomfort you might feel. That's really important. Instead, it's more about cultivating a sense of maybe respect for how your body works, approaching these feelings with curiosity rather than just frustration.
Curiosity, not frustration.
Right.
I like that framing. Okay, so we're starting to connect the dots now between the hormones and how we feel physically and maybe emotionally. What can we actually do with this knowledge? How do we turn this understanding into something, useful day to day?
Great question. This is exactly where tracking your mid-cycle symptoms can be so insightful.
Tracking them.
Yeah, it's a really practical way to just become more in tune with your body's natural rhythms and start actually recognizing these patterns for yourself.
So for someone listening right now, maybe feeling some of this stuff today, what are a few simple things they could pay attention to, like right now?
Okay, yeah, start simple. Today, just take a moment, check in with yourself. Maybe grab a notebook or use your phone notes. Just jot a few things down.
Like what?
First, think about any bloating you might be experiencing. Is it none? Mild? Moderate? Maybe even severe? Just make a note.
Okay, bloating level, check.
Next, notice if you're having any cramping. If you are, maybe note down where you feel it. Is it one side? Low down? And how intense is it? Mild twinge? More noticeable?
Got it. Cramping location and intensity.
Also, pay attention to any specific food cravings that might be popping up. Are you suddenly really wanting salty snacks? Or maybe something sweet and comforting? Or just heavier, sort of richer foods? Note it down.
Cravings noted. Chocolate, probably.
Huh. Yeah, note the specifics. And finally, just take a quick mental inventory of your general mood. Are you feeling pretty calm, balanced, or maybe full of energy, or perhaps a bit more sensitive or anxious than usual today?
Mood check-in.
Okay.
So loading, cramping, cravings, mood. Why is just the simple act of tracking, of just noting these things down, why is it so valuable?
Well, tracking really helps you shift your perspective. It sounds simple, but it's powerful.
How so?
Instead of feeling like your body is just randomly doing things to you.
Yeah, like it's betraying you sometimes.
Exactly. You start to actually see the natural patterns and cycles that are happening within you. It becomes less mysterious, less adversarial. And as you track consistently, maybe over a few cycles, you'll likely start to see clear trends emerge.
Like what other trends?
For instance, you might notice, my bloating seems to peak a day or two after I think I ovulated, or, wow, those intense sugar cravings often hit right when my energy levels take a nosedive mid-afternoon.
Oh, okay. Connecting the dots for your own body.
Precisely. Each little piece of data you track, it contributes to a much clearer, much more personal picture of your own unique experience. And that knowledge, that ultimately helps you make more informed choices about how to take care of yourself. Maybe you plan for more rest or adjust your meals or just give yourself more grace during certain times.
That makes so much sense. It really is like learning a new language, isn't it?
Yeah.
The very personal, specific language of your own body.
That's a perfect way to put it, exactly. And, on that note, a little prompt for everyone listening. Take a moment today. Track any bloating, cravings, or cramping you might be noticing. Even just one thing. because you are actively learning your body's true language when you do that.
I love that. Learning your body's true language.
And this kind of self-awareness, it isn't just, interesting trivia about yourself. It's genuinely empowering. It gives you agency.
Definitely empowering. Now, for those of us, myself included maybe, who are thinking, okay, this sounds great, but keeping track of all these little nuances every day, it might get a bit tricky with just a notebook or random phone notes.
Hmm.
Are there any tools out there that can help simplify this process, make it easier?
Absolutely. Yeah, that's where something like March Health can be a really helpful companion on this journey.
March Health.
Oh.
Okay.
We specifically designed the March Health app to support women, support people in tracking a really wide range of bodily signals throughout their entire cycle. And that definitely includes those important mid-cycle symptoms we've been talking about: bloating, cravings, cramping. It's designed to be much more holistic than just tracking your period.
So it goes beyond just period tracking. How does the app actually make tracking these mid-cycle things easier?
Well, the app offers a really simple, intuitive way to log your symptoms daily. Takes just a moment. And then over time, it compiles all that information for you,
Okay.
and it helps you visualize the patterns across multiple cycles. Seeing it laid out graphically can make those connections we've been discussing much, much clearer to actually see.
Visualizing patterns. Yeah, that sounds useful.
And based on the data that you input, the app can even offer personalized insights. Little observations tailored to your experience that can help you understand your own unique cycle even better.
Personalized insights based on my own tracking. That sounds incredibly practical.
Hmm.
So for our listeners who are intrigued by this, maybe want to make tracking easier,
Yeah.
what's the best way for them to learn more or, check it out?
Yeah, absolutely. If you're looking for an easier way to track your symptoms and really tune into what your body is telling you, the March Health app is right there to support you, every step of the way.
Right.
Because ultimately, truly, you deserve to have a clearer, more informed, and honestly, a kinder relationship with your body.
A kinder relationship. That really resonates. So wrapping up this deep dive then, we've really zeroed in on those often overlooked but actually incredibly meaningful signals our bodies send us, right around the middle of our cycles.
Signals we often ignore.
Totally. We've learned that those mid-cycle twinges, the bloating that pops up, even those sudden cravings, they aren't just random annoyances, are they?
Not at all. They are valid, often quite logical responses from our bodies. It's part of their innate wisdom, really.
Innate wisdom. I like that. And understanding our cycles, it isn't about trying to exert some kind of rigid control over our bodies, is it?
No, not at all. It's much more about paying closer attention, about truly listening with curiosity, like we
Right.
said.
Listening with curiosity. And, simply by exploring this with us today, you listening right now, you've already taken a really significant first step, a step toward fostering greater trust in your own body and prioritizing your self-care.
Absolutely. Every bit of understanding helps build that trust.
Yeah. And if you found this information insightful, maybe consider sharing it with someone else, a friend, a sister, anyone who might also benefit from a deeper understanding of their own mid-cycle experiences.
Spread the knowledge.
Definitely. And remember, your body isn't some mystery that needs solving. It's more like an amazing story that's constantly unfolding, just waiting to be heard.
Beautifully put.
So until our next deep dive, stay curious, be kind to yourself,
Always be kind to yourself.
and keep tuning in to those incredible messages your body is always sending your way.